Okay. As a winemaker, when have been your most difficult and happiest moment?
Difficult, it was, for example, that depends on the vintage.
Okay.
2001.
Oh, 2001.
Yes, it was difficult. We had a lot of rains during summer, July, August. It was nice during the harvest, that low level of sugar inside the grapes. We have to add it, sugar, chaptalization. We use not raffinated sugar, very raw sugar, to try to bring something to the wine.
Yeah.
And 1 year after, 2002, it was so nice.
Yeah.
And when I have some people who come to the cellar to taste the two wines, 1 and 2, what do you prefer? They say one is better.
Because more easier.
Yeah.
Acceptable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible for me.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Like that. It's like if you be testing like a 19, 20, it's good wine, good quality wine. But if you be drink like a 21, people prefer 21. It's like a old wine. We drink together today is 2005. It's still young and. But if we drink like a 2002, it's very difficult year for Bordeaux. If we drink 2002, wow, this is like that. 30 years, 40 years, 50 years later, it's like a good vintage, not like a 2001. Maybe think about that. It's like a 50 years later, we drink champagne, 01, 02. And definitely, I think 90%, 95% prefer autumn.
Okay. But you know, in 2001, the vines, not the wines, the vines, is in good health. The leaves was perfect. And she offered me this type of grapes. So grapes was at its climax, the best.
Yeah.
And it's nice. And by the past, I taste a wine from Didier Dagno with low degree of alcohol. Something like less than 10, and it was really nice. Usually we think high degree of alcohol, the wine is better, stronger, and in fact he can find his balance with low. That depends of the quality of the vines. And
No, it's
23 was difficult. With the problem of Suzuki. The little fly. We transform directly the juice in vinegar.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of acidity volatility in the juice.
Yeah.
In the juice and not in the wine.
I heard about a lot of the Montcalm Hans and the Cotet Blanc. It's like the miserable moment of the Suzuki.
And we have to make wine, to try to make wine with this. And the result is nice. It's like a miracle. Something incredible.
Yeah. This is really great.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah. But when we do the harvest, we don't know. We have to attend the end of the first fermentation to taste and to make a level.
Okay. 23 is difficult year.
Which one?
Blind testing.
Oh. I hate blind tasting.
You always rate blind testing. I think if you blind testing, I got the 90%, right? Who is best blind tester for your wine?
A Belgian guy.
Belgium. I never not in.
But you are good, huh? You are good. You are great.
아무런 정보 없이 생산자한테 이제 블라인드로 주고 있습니다. 친해서 가능한 거지. 사실은 이렇게 했다가는 수입사가 바뀔 수도 있습니다. 생산자가 기분 나쁘고요. I really love this vintage.
It's fresh. That means.
Every time I talk about this vintage, the best wine ever.
2008?
No.
No?
At this time, I prefer, first of all, What do you think? 23 is better, right? At this time?
This one.
Yeah, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better at this time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, and this one?
19.
Yeah, 19.
A little up to 19. Do you prefer 08 or 19?
I think right.
Oh,
Yeah.
why?
Because it was incredible. There is before that I read in an old book that when you have the wind come from the east, that means very dry wind, it's nice for before the harvest. It was very nice, and we have that in 08.
Oh, okay.
A lot of wind during the day and the night. That wind, huh? The trees were like this. It comes from the east and say, oh, that's good. And in fact, the result is there is a part of the water inside the berries away. So we concentrate sugar, but acidity. It was crazy. In 3 days, you learn 1 degree. 2 days and 3 days, 1 degree. It was crazy. I like this one. It's very crispy and depth. I like this one.
Yeah, I like 62, 66, 64, 69, 76, 75.
I think you have to like the vintage in the barrel now. 25.
Yeah, I have 25 is great year.
I think.
Yeah. You prefer 08, 25?
We have a little part of wind, but not
Yeah.
not so high
Yeah.
than in 8. But we have.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's nice. For me, it's nice. Something regarding 19.
I really love to 19. But also, I love your 08 also. But I don't have 08 at this time. How many bottles do you left? 08.
I have no bottle in my cellar. Huh?
Really?
No.
Oh.
The old bottle I have, I think now,
Yeah.
I think it's 19, 18, 17, some magnum of 13.
Oh, it's okay.
14, I have a lot. 15, no more.
Oh.
16, no more. 17, a little, no. You know when Peter Lim come to taste at home,
Okay.
sometimes we have big tasting.
Yeah.
So I go to find a bottle, I arrive and say, oh, this is the last bottle. And she said, oh, don't open, keep for you. She said, no, we are not fetishists, you know?
Yeah.
Wine is to be,
Share.
drunk.
Okay. What do you consider the most important factor in viticulture?
Perhaps there are two. The first is to increase the level of microorganisms into the soil. It's a relation between oxygen. And if you increase the level of microorganisms, we increase the part of mineral in the wine. And the key point is the time of pick up the grapes. It's very, very important. We can't make the harvest by themselves. We have to have workers, so we have to plan before, 2 weeks before. So it's difficult, really difficult to pick up the grapes at maturity. Like no. Where do you find this? On the grey market?
Grey market at Q 2013.
Yeah.
That's my. We work with the first year.
For me,
Yeah.
it was the first vintage. We do the harvest in October. That's the pasta. When I sell grapes, I do already do that. But where is the wine? The first vintage. 13. It was the cycle, the vegetal cycle was very, very long.
See.
Because the buds grow up in March, earlier, and after we have no frost, that bad weather, cold weather, and it stop the growth of the vines. And if you read, always we have to read. If you read all books, if you have a long cycle, it's better for the wine. Yeah, it's natural because you expose the vines to the element for a long time. It's nice. I like this wine.
Yeah, I love it.
For a long time it was so strict, so it's not me.
Yeah.
So
It's a little green character. And hopper.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, but I love it.
There is a relation with oak, a little relation with oak. I can taste.
But it's
Not,
still
not
very
smoky, but
fresh.
yeah. Yes, but it was difficult to sell the wine because we sell the wine 2 years after the harvest, very quickly. That's it. And when people discover this, imagine in 15 they say, "Wow, it's not your wine. What's happened? It's so straight." And I was a little bit afraid about that. But with time, I don't know if in the future if you can able to make this. It's not a question of me; it's a question of the weather. Now, usually we do the harvest in August, end of August.
What are the 3 key conditions for producing great grapes?
You need a lot of things. You need water before flowering, a lot of wind, hot temperature, not very hot, but something at 20 degrees during the flowering. And after that, you need something between water and light. You need a lot of light. If you have no light from the sun, it's difficult.
I think this wine is the oldest bottle in your cellar.
2002, no?
2002? Do you have it?
I think I have, but I'm not sure of what we put the back on the bottles.
And that's why I like this vintage. Oh, I don't believe it. This is very, very fresh. Not like 11.
This is 11?
Yeah. What is your philosophy on dosage?
I like low dosage because we try to do nothing to the wine, so it's not the reason to do something at the end of the process. So low dosage, this is the best way. For my first vintage, I don't use any dosage, but there is a big contrast between each millésime. So little dosage can make a bridge with different millésime.
Okay.
We have to consider the situation of a private client, for example. So 11 it was difficult.
But wine is good.
11 we do harvest in the first time we start the harvest in August and finish in August.
It smells a little hazelnut.
There is a high level of alcohol, but the skin was not enough at maturity.
Okay.
And because before 11 we have 10, and 10 it was crazy with mushroom. I think about botrytis, because there is rains and very warm temperature. So it's like a bomb of mushroom. So when you arrive 11, we have a storm, and we think it seems to be like a year before. So we go, all the growers go to the vineyard to pick up the grapes.
See.
But perhaps a little bit too in advance.
Oh.
It's better with oxygen.
Yeah, sure.
And it's better in nylon than in bottle.
Yeah.
The difference is crazy between a bottle and a magnum.
Okay, what do you most want to express through your champagne?
I want to express the quality of area, of a plot. It's not only a question of soil and plant.
Yeah.
Because the mushroom, the quantity, the quality of the mushroom who makes the bridge between the soil and the plant is according to the weather condition.
Okay.
So it's very complex.
Yeah.
Very, very complex.
Every year.
Yeah, different.
Yeah.
And it's the reason why we are so happy to taste wine. Because if there is no relation between the vines and the soil, you make alcohol with the sun, and you make ethanol.
Okay.
You make something like petrol
Okay.
for car, not to have a good time together.
Okay. See.
This is a small thing in the soil. We give all the beauty of the wine. It's crazy.
See.
When you know that, it's crazy.
How is climate change impacting your champagne style?
So we speak about the low acidity,
Yeah. And high alcohol.
high alcohol, sometimes high level of pH, sometimes disease with too much mushroom. It's not balanced. It's crazy. In 1 week, you can live the 4 seasons. You know, Champagne, by the past, is a region climate, temperate climate, something between the sea and between continental climate. So something you have 4 seasons distinctly, and now something it's difficult to understand.
It's like a long winter, long summer.
Yeah, and sometimes it's short summer in 1 week. Short summer, short winter, and sometimes it's easy vintage. Very, very easy, and something very, very difficult. There is no balance.
When do you think your champagne is best enjoyed?
The time after
Lilies.
6 years, I think.
You told me that 4 years later.
No, 6 years after harvest.
Harvest and the bottling 2 years and after 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bottling and 4 years.
Yeah. It's the reason why 4 years. Because you discover a new wine.
Okay.
Before you taste, you can taste fruit, quality of the vintage, but it's not very deep. No, it could be nice, but it's not very deep. But after 4 years, you go on the roots. The wine go on his own roots. In the beginning, each vintage seems to be the same, and with veg, it's separate. You can taste the difference. For example, during a blind test, I already taste a champagne made with the same way than me, and with a young wine, I can make the difference between mine and other wines. And with age, you can see the difference.
Okay. This is Proximal. This is the second edition of the Toyota.
Where you find it?
From you.
Yeah? Yeah, I said. Okay, no. Yes, only 1 box, no?
Yeah.
Only 1? Or 2?
You give the 2 bottle, maybe 3 bottle. 이거 팔기 전인 거지.
It's only for the event.
그래서 이거 어디서 구했냐고. 본인이 죽어도 몰라. 트로제 샴페인.
Not really rosé.
Okay. Could you explain what the Proximal and Toyota?
So, facsimile is something regarding pink champagne. But for me, it's not a question of when you say pink, you speak about the color.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not a question of color.
Okay.
It's a question of berries and of skin of the berries. 1 day, at maturity, I taste only the skin of the berries. At maturity, it's easy to put away the skin.
Yeah.
Okay, and you taste only the skin, and you have all the flavor of the berries with the skin. And I say, understand it's strange, because in Champagne, we are authorized to make white wine with red skin.
Yeah, right.
And if you know the best thing in the fruit is the skin, I have to try to make a wine with the skin. So this is the reason why. I like to make a barrel of Pinot Meunier, of red Pinot Meunier, you know? A barrel, only a barrel. It's my secret garden. I do that a day before the harvest, the beginning of the harvest. I do that by myself, with Agnès, my wife, and now with my nephew. Only 3 people in the vineyard. We have all the day to pick up the grapes to do the red wine. It's easy, it's happy moment, no stress, no the big thing to manage. And I can imagine what is the harvest in the week after. I like that. It's only for me. Egoist, only for me. So I make a barrel of Pinot Meunier, red Pinot Meunier, still, and we added
Blood.
Yes. So only 10% for this wine, facsimile, only a difference of 10% regarding the Les Garennes, classical Les Garennes. That means 10% is nothing, but for the wine
Total different.
it's very important. And we decided to add it only for Iota 2%. It's the reason why we call Iota. That means we added nothing, 2%. And it changed the mouth, the taste of the wine. For me, wine is only a question of taste, not a question of noise. A lot of people only smell the wine. But for me, it's a question of taste. I'm happy because I have a tasting 2 weeks ago with a young girl, and we test Iota, blend test, and she said me, wow, the mouth, the texture is nice. She said, I'm happy because I do that for that.
What food pairings would you recommend it?
I don't want to speak about food and wine. I can eat a beef and taste a white wine. Yeah, it's not a problem for me. I hate the pairing. Whoa.
Okay. Today we had lunch with the pork.
Yeah.
The Korean version. But you know, champagne. I prefer champagne.
Yeah.
Better than Cheval Blanc. Right. Yeah.
No, some people are as its quality pair the thing. I am not. When I eat, and the second after I drink. You know.
Okay. Could you introduce the Les Garennes project since 2023? Yeah. What goals do you hope to achieve through this project?
So Les Garennes, this is the name of the parcel. Les Garennes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a vineyard in the north of the appellation. So this is more clay soil, so that means cold soil. And I think in the future, it could be great. But the best grapes, when I see the grapes, because I move during the harvest and look, and the best grapes come from the north of the appellation. So it's only Pinot Meunier. It's only massal selection is very important.
Okay.
It's very
Havelbehill and Penstating, like that.
Yeah.
But those spacing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The landscape around is nice.
Yeah.
It's not very famous, but I like this. It's like a challenge, you know. You make wine in an area that nobody wants to manage.
Yeah,
I like
right.
this.
Yeah.
But in the future, I think we have to think about north condition. That means for exposition, north sometimes will be better. Not sometimes, but more and more. Not only 1 year in 10 years. I think it could be 6-7 years. North conditions will be better than south condition.
Ah, see. You will make single vineyard wine there?
Perhaps. Yeah. For the moment, no, but perhaps. And this is something we manage with you, with Crystal, because we have the possibility to buy the plot, and I cultivate and make the wine. It's a sign of respect together. You ask me to manage. It's a nice travel in Champagne to do that. Because, you know, a lot of people say, I don't want to cultivate this parcel.
Okay, see. How do you view the Korean wine market?
I don't know nothing about Korean. It's your job. Huh? I have some question about my wine in Korea, but I don't know nothing about Korean market. Yeah?
Okay.
What is Korean market?
Not bad. Give me some more wine. And what wine do you most often drink at home? Not your wine.
No. Difficult question. I know. I think wine comes from the north of Italy, like Barolo.
Barolo.
Yes. Because I have a strong experience with wine. 10 years after I make wine, I was boring. Then it's strange, huh?
Yeah.
It's a scary sensation because you taste your own wine, you say, nothing to say. Nothing to say. So you open a nice bottle, you know? You open a bottle with a big label. You say, he has something to express. Because, okay, you open the bottle. Say, wow, nothing to say. You say, wow, it's me or the wine?
Oh.
It's me.
Okay.
So I restart to have sensation with wine with Barolo. Because it's strange wine. High level of maturity, a lot of tannin, a lot of acidity, I can't understand.
Okay.
And I like, because I can't understand. So I drink more and more.
Not like
Barolo.
a Pinot Noir.
Yeah. And I restart to have sensation with my wine.
Okay, I see. 5 years ago, I remember you always open the bottle, all the bottle.
Yeah.
Why? Oh, this is bottle, very well. Oh, this is bottle. Also, this is stupid question. If you could drink only one bottle right now, what would you choose? 47 sugar. Lemon County.
Perhaps Soldera.
Ah,
Yeah.
Soldera.
Yeah.
Which vintage?
I don't know. All vintage. From the Gianfranco. This is a wine
He's passed away?
Yeah.
Ah.
Now, a few years ago. Huh? For me, it's like an intellectual wine. It's very complex to go inside. I like that. To take a wine, we take, work with the wine, and it's nice. Yeah, Soldera.
Okay. What would be your desert island wine? Okay.
This is the same question.
Okay.
A magnum of Soldera.
Okay. Lastly, could you share a message for your big fans in Korea?
I have friends in Korea?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Perhaps I have to say them to continue to be happy with wine. You know, because there is a lot of young people don't want to drink, to taste. Why? There is so much you can be happy with wine. Wine is like a nice picture, a nice film, a nice music. Good wine, there is a lot of things to discover inside a glass of wine.
Okay.
So continue to be happy with wine.
Thank you for
Jean-Luc.
Yeah. Why every champagne grower call to Jean-Louis?
It's a fault to Fred Savard.
Yeah.
C'est Fred to say Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc. Junhyuk. Yeah. Jean-Louis Charles. Do you happy with the interview?
Yeah. We have a look. The feedback.
Yeah.
In few years. You have to make the subtitle, you know?
Okay. I think the maestro of the Pinot Noir.
Maestro?
Yeah. Not like you. Artist? Magician?
Je sais pas.
Or musician?
A poor guy who make a Piemonnier since...
Or painter?
Painter, no, I'm not a painter.
이 작가님과 PD하고 되게 부딪히는데 사실은 너무 친해서 사실은 토요일이나 아까도 처음에 이야기했을 때 되게 인상적인 게 주말에 가족 식사하는데 갑자기 쳐들어가지고 같이 와인 마시고 그때 한 4시간 있었거든요. 저도 만취해서 나왔는데 그런데 너무 친해요. 너무 친해서 이제 샴페인에 대한 이야기도 저도 많이 듣고 저희가 크리스탈와인에서 산 포도밭을 직접 맡길 정도로 이제 친한 분이신데 이제 앞으로 은퇴가 얼마 남지 않았는데 사실 굉장히 어려웠다는 2023도 굉장히 맛있었어요. 저는 굉장히 좋았고 드디어 제가 가장 친한 와인메이커 중 한 명인 제롬을 여기 모시게 됐습니다. 다음에 또 제가 재미난 콘텐츠를 꼭 찾아뵙도록 하겠습니다. See you. 꼬방따로 모시고